Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is about replacing the battery on the Triumph Bonneville bobber. A few days ago, I discovered that my battery was kind of flat. I went out for a ride about 10-15 minutes away from home and I stopped at one spot. It's kind of nice. It was by the beach, coconut trees, everything, and I thought, okay, this would be a really good spot for a photo. So I parked the bike, turned it off, and took a couple of pictures, and the model was very happy. And then once I was done, I jumped back on the bike and I mashed the start button, and all I got was a chug. And I mashed it about 7 or 8 times and 7 or 8 more chugs. So that was that. Battery's flat. So anyway, yeah, I found out it was really difficult to push start a Triumph bobber, 250 kilos of it, on gravel, but I managed to do it. I managed to push start it and got it started again, and I went for a ride for about maybe 45 minutes to an hour. Stopped over at a friend's place for about 2 hours to chit chat, and got back on the bike and it started up straight away. So there's nothing wrong with the alternator. So it's just a battery not being able to keep the charge. So if you've never changed a battery before, I hope this video helps you. So let's get on to it. Now, the mechanic said if we've got a slow charger, just to put it on the slow charger for about half an hour, it'll be good. Apparently improves the battery life. Excuse the junk. Okay. Black to negative. Red to positive. Okay, it's good. So I've got a Bosch C3 slow charger. It's a smart charger, so it detects that it's a motorcycle. It knows it's 12 volts, and this means it needs to be charged, and once it's fully charged, it'll go over here and it'll start trickle charging once it goes into here. Okay, that's good to go. That's my stool. There it is. Okay. Okay. This is a 5mm hex key. So I've been reading that the, I think 2025 bobbers onwards, they don't have this little bolt anymore. Apparently it's just a steel plate that just goes over here, and it's a clip-on. I don't exactly know how it works, but this is the way my bobber came. So it comes with a few pieces. This one can slide out, so it just comes off from the top like this. I usually just this is a little bit just to keep it all together so I don't lose anything. Okay, so this cover is pretty easy. Basically just grab it from the bottom and the top. All right, and just pull it towards you. It's just held in together. I don't know what they call it, rubber grommets onto these little pins over here, and that's where your battery is. Okay, so this is where my battery is. This is my negative cable. This is where it grounds onto the bike. And this is the positive terminal. This is just an elastic, so you just pull it down, lift it up, and the battery can slide out a little bit. Just lift it up. It can come out, so you can get to that bolt a little bit easier. It's a bit of corrosion on the top of that. Okay. Let's see what's next. I got most of these tools from our equivalent. Our equivalent in Malaysia is Shopee. So I got this wrench set, kind of cool. And I found this one the most helpful. Just a tiny little socket. It has all the sockets over here, and it has a mixture of hex keys and torque bits, Phillips, flatheads. Yeah, this is really useful for the bike. Okie dokes. So if I remember correctly, we've got to disconnect the grounding cable first. So it's held in with a hex key. I can't remember what size it is. I think it's this one. Let's see. It's too big. So I'm gonna go one size smaller. Oh, it's probably the same one. This is the same one, so it's a 5mm, I think. Yep, it's a 5mm. So the reason why you want to do that is you want to take off the grounding cable, because right now the battery's connected to the bike and it's grounded to the bike. So if you start messing around with the positive terminal and your wrench or your screwdriver touches the body, you're just gonna have sparks everywhere, and you're gonna create little wells here and there. So this is what I learned. I think I probably did it once and I touched something and I got a bit of a spark, so you learn. So it's held in there. I don't know whether you can see it, but it's covered by a little rubber cap. So just be really careful when you unscrew this. It's usually really tight because you want the grounding to be fairly tight. So we'll take this one off first. Okay, I've got a few extra cable, or one extra cable over here, and that's because I've connected an SAE cable, which runs through here on top of the positive and a negative, and it runs up into the frame, and it comes back down here, and so that I can charge the battery directly through here. It saves me a lot of time instead of opening up the battery, taking the battery out, and charging it. So be careful when you take this off, that you don't touch anything else, and just separate all this. So this cable that comes out from the battery, all right, I just keep the hood, because that's still connected to the battery, so if it touches any part of the bike, it'll spark up, right? So I just basically make sure that it's covered, and then I'll put this bolt back in, just so that I don't lose it, just a little bit in. So right now your bike's pretty safe. Yeah, basically before you start this, make sure that your bike's turned off, okay? And then you want to get a 10, I think that's a 10mm wrench. So I think this is a 10. Yeah, it's about 10. Okay, so now you want to take off the positive terminal. It wasn't very tight. Okay, I can do the rest without having the wrench. Jeez, it's in there. Ah, finally, here we go. Okay, just hang on to that for a little bit, and then you just lift up the battery and slide the whole thing out. Voila! Batmaster YTX9BS CCA 120. So the battery I got over there is a CCA 135, and according to the manual, the Triumph bobber takes anything from 125 to 135. So this CCA is probably a little bit low. I got this bike 2 years ago, and the seller gave me a new battery because the bike was flat, and so he got me a new battery. So this is it, Batmaster. So I checked on Google, and it's basically an entry-level, no maintenance battery. So it does the job, but it's probably not perfect. Okie dokes. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to take this cover off and put it onto the new battery. And I think that just comes off and it slides off that way. So we're gonna have to take this piece off and attach it onto the new battery. All right, let's go over there and do that. I think I'll probably need this. Yep, perfect. All right, let's go there. So it's not been half an hour, but if you look at it, it's on OK now. So basically, the smart charger would have gone onto trickle charge. All right, so it's just dripping in power to the new battery. So I guess the new battery is OK. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn it off. I need my fan because it's really hot. Disconnect this. Okay. So I'm going to take this piece off. Wasn't too long ago I pulled out the old battery and you can see I sandpapered the contacts, so it's pretty good. Okay. Okay. So how does this cover go back on? Okay, so it goes onto the left side or the right side of the battery. And there's a little groove in here, and that's where the cable goes. Voila. Sorted. These are new ones. I think the old one was a bit corroded, so let's hope this one's don't rust. Dropped it. Okay. So this is in the right place. Okay, new battery's done. Okay, so I just want to show you the SAE cables. So you can buy them anywhere. This cable's a little bit bent out of shape. Okay, so that's all it is. It's just a cable that goes on here and it goes into this, and I've cable tied it to the frame. And all I do is just plug the charger into here, and then it just charges the battery so that I don't have to take the battery out. It's just a little bit easier. It's a lot of messing around. It's pretty simple. Okay, this one I just tuck at the top of the battery after I get everything connected. Okie dokes, let's get the battery back on. Let's close that up. I put this just right behind the frame so you can't really see it. Okay, new battery going in. So just lift everything up. Slide the new battery in. Not all the way, just as long as you can reach the positive terminal, which is here. Okay, as long as the positive terminal can reach, you're good. All right. So it's the reverse now to reconnect. So to disconnect, you disconnect the negative first, and then you do the positive terminal. All right. So to put it back on, you do the positive terminal first, and then the negative cable, the negative terminal. All right. Excuse me. So we want to get all the little bits and pieces. Okay. Just goes in there. Too far in. Oh, did I mention I'm not a mechanic, so all this stuff is kind of pretty basic. So normally I put the SAE cable on top of the positive terminal. So I give it the best kind of connection with the positive terminal on the battery first, and then I will run the SAE cable on top of it. All right, so hopefully you can see this. So I'll run this through here, and then I'll put it through that. So you don't have to worry about any sparks at the moment, as long as the negative terminal is not touching any metal bits. Okay, so just get this in, and it will catch. I usually just hand tighten it first, and then okay, once it's kind of firm, then I'll get onto it with a wrench. Okay. Okay, so the battery's not fully sitting in properly yet. It's just a little bit out, so it's just easier for me to reach this nut. All right. You gotta make sure that the contact is nice and firm. Okay. So just tighten it. Okay. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okie dokes. Mine came without a cover for the positive terminal. I don't know where that went. I see a lot of YouTube videos and I see people with the actual cover that goes on top of that. I think mine just came without it. Okay, once I've got that tightened up, just one more. Okay. That's not... Okay, then I push the battery all the way in. And then the battery's got to sit behind this little latch over here. All right, stops it from coming out. And then from there, you can pull the elastic out, get the metal band to go under that hook, and that stops the battery from coming out. And it's a pretty good fit. Okay, so before I tuck all these in, I'm going to do the negative cable. So this is where you're likely going to get some sparks. Okay. So same thing with this one. I usually try to get the negative terminal
up against the grounding bracket that's over there, and then I put the SAE on top of it. Okay, so 5mm hex. Get it out, get the screw out first. I hope you can see this. My hands are in the way. Okay, I'll just try change the angle over here. Okay, so with the SAE cable, I want it to come out from this little gap over here. So I want to make sure that the thing goes in like that and not turned up. I want it to go sideways, right, like this. So what I usually do is I get the screw and I put that in first, and then I reveal the negative terminal. I put the screw in, make sure this is at the right angle. Okay, then I come in towards that screw. Bam. No sparks, yay! Okay. So here we go. It's at the right angle. I'm trying to get my hands not in the way of the camera so that you guys can see what's going on. And make sure this connection is really nice and tight, okay? Because often enough, if the ground connection is not tight, the bike won't start as well. Okay, so that's nice and tight. And I'll take this rubber cover and I'll try my best to put it over everything so it just covers it so nothing else can touch it. So now with these excess cables, I just tuck it back inside the battery compartment. So it's all out of the way. And this is one thing I didn't know for ages. I didn't know that the inside here is where the spare tool is. It's one of the only tools that the bobber has. It's right here. So it's actually a hex key and a Phillips. Right? And I think that's just perfect for swapping out the battery. Just clips in over here, right into the side panel. Silly me. This is where your fuse is. This is your air filter. It's another fuse. Fuse box is right there. And this is your air box. And this clips on. Okay, so that connection is done. This connection is done. And let's get the cover back on. And then let's give the bike, let's try and start up the bike. All right, like I said, basically there's nothing at the bottom. It's just a rubber seal. So the top piece has a little hook on it. So that hooks on to that part there. All right, and the bottom piece, it just, there's another hook. There's a lever right here, and then the bottom piece just hooks onto that, like that. Okay, but this will stay in place because of the grommets. Right, so you just put that on, like so. Okay, and it will stay in place. Voila. This is the fiddly part. Trying to get this back on. I can see why they got rid of it. All right, because putting this back on is a bit of a joke, and let's see whether I can do this gracefully. All right. The annoying thing is that this cylinder, this little bit over here, keeps popping out. All right, it can slide right out. All right. So you get the top bit on, hook it over the edge, and you try to get this hole facing downwards. And then this is your screw. It goes in there. Okay, this annoying piece goes over the screw to make it look pretty. Alright, and this goes underneath, hooks onto that bit that I told you about. And you've got to try and get this on at the same time. And then with some skill, you can screw it all back in. Oh, look at that. So just make sure it's nice and straight, so it's aesthetically nice. And then you tighten it up. Okay, this is gonna be fairly firm, because I'm pretty sure it'll be a pain in the ass to try and find that in the aftermarket shop. I've seen some leather ones, they're pretty as well. They kind of keep the same thing over here, but instead of steel, it's leather. It's kind of nice looking. It doesn't really do much, it just holds the cover there, it doesn't bounce around, so it's pretty secure. So that's all done. Great. Got my fingerprints all over the bike, so I'm gonna just use my cloth. Give it a bit of a wipe down. Okay. So usually after you disconnect the battery, all your readings reset back to 0. So let's just grab the key, see where the bike starts at 1 kick. Okay. Key is in. Sweet. Okay. So you can see the trip is at 0. Trip 2 is at 0. All your fuel readings are 0. Oh, it actually tells me I've got 39 kilometers left of fuel. And this will be my clock. So it's 5 minutes. I'll set it. To set the clock, hold the I button down for a couple of seconds. And now it's, oops, go back to the clock. Waited too long. So I've got 1:46 p.m. now. So I'll hold it down till it flashes, and then I'll press 1. So it's on 24-hour clock, so I'm going to set it at 13, and I hold it down again, and it'll change to the minutes, I think. Oh, I didn't. And then hold it down. Okay, and I put this up to 47. So when your battery is low and it doesn't start the first go, chances are if you just leave it alone, everything will go back. If your battery is low and you try to start the bike, yeah, everything gets reset, your clock goes and everything like that. So okay, so the bike's running fine, all the lights are good, pretty normal. So let's give it a go. Clutch in, battery, power on. All right, success. Okay, so I'm not a mechanic, and I love wrenching on my bike. I've done quite a lot of things to my bike. I've got some videos on YouTube. So if you like my stuff, you know, like and subscribe, leave a comment. I always like talking to people online. And that's about it. I hope you found that useful if you've never changed your battery before. I've done it a few times. I've had a few problems, which I will tell on YouTube one day. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.